Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland certified financial planning professional Tim Stearns, CFP, your resource, ladies and gentlemen, for a common sense approach to planning, for guidance and perspective on the financial and economic world, and how to plan for a more stable, secure, and confident retirement. Here on Protect and Grow each week, Tim provides some insights and opinions, as well as some proactive planning tips and strategies. Tim, always a pleasure to have you on the program. Just a few short weeks left in the year, so still a lot to be done around TJ Stearns Inc., I imagine.
Oh, yes, we're busier than ever, especially with the market being so volatile. And a lot of people are kind of coming back to the table. Use that pun with that pun intended about Thanksgiving, right? Is that people are coming back to talk to us because, you know, when a bull market was rolling, everything was fine. And now this past 11 months has been very, very volatile for people. And they're concerned that they're not going to have enough money for retirement.
You think at first, initially, when things like this, when a year like this occurs, people have a little bit of shock and paralysis and they don't know what to do, so they just kind of don't do anything?
Unfortunately, yes. We see people, there's two camps, right? The first camp is the people who come back to us and go, my gosh, you were right. You know, the bull market was going to last forever. I should have had stop loss. I should have, could have, would have. And then you have the people who are like, yeah, I'd love to come talk to you, but I'm already so far down. I just talked to an American airline pilot who had that. And I said, well, guess what? You know, while your mutual funds keep faltering, you know, our funds will be back in the market when the timing is right. You know, are we going to be perfect? Absolutely not. But we'll be a lot better actively and tactically managed than a mutual fund.
Well, if you have questions, concerns, if you would like a portfolio review, ladies and gentlemen, pick up the phone, give a call to TJ Stearns Inc. and Tim Stearns CFP for that written Protect and Grow plan for your retirement, looking at investments, income, taxes, healthcare, legacy, and so many additional aspects of your financial and retirement planning progress. Tim Stearns offers this to radio show listeners with no cost, no obligation. All you need to do is place the call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, a common thing that I hear from investors during periods like this, during down markets, is I don't want to sell out now because I'll lock in my losses. Can we dive into that? Because don't we only lock in losses if we sell out and don't reinvest? Whereas if we're not in the best choices, not in the best investment options, if we don't have the best strategy, making a change does not prohibit us from recovering, correct?
Yes. I mean, it's just a managing of the vehicles that you're in. You know, most people who come in to see us have stocks and bonds. You know, bonds are down over 16%. NASDAQ's all the way up to negative 36%. You have the other indices in the middle there, right? Well, if we get out and stay out and go to cash like a lot of people did in 2008 for years and years, you're going to miss out. I agree with that.
That's locking in losses.
Exactly. You're locking in the loss because you've taken your ball and gone home, right? You know, use that analogy from the playground. But what I'm talking about doing is getting out of a terribly performing vehicle that has consistently let you down. Asset allocation, the last 22 years has failed 5 times, right? You have 2000, 2001, 2002, 2008, and we're currently in and to me, a correction, at least probably a bear market. So we need to get out and be more finicky and particular about the stocks, the vehicles that we're going to use. And that's what we do differently by using an institutional platform.
Well, because we are talking about just a review and analysis, Tim, not necessarily taking everything out of the market and moving to cash. If we can find places where there are better tools, better options, better strategies, we may in fact increase our chances of higher gains or further recovery, or at least if rough times continue and there is more downside to come, maybe strategies that can give us a little bit more protection. But it is not the same as locking in losses and just taking your ball and going home.
Right. So you just need to be more specific and particular about where you're going to put your money. And then that being said, you're going to put your money back into the, sell out of the poor performing vehicles, and you're going to put your money back into the market. Make sure you have stop losses, and that, you're being tactical. The buy and sell is dead. I will preach that until I'm retired. The buy and sell worked for your grandparents. It does not work for us nowadays. The other thing I see people doing is that they're getting out of the products that they're in and sitting on the sidelines. Well, with inflation being over 8%, you're actually losing money. I had a woman the other day who came in. She had $100,000 making about less than 1% in a savings account. And I had to show her. We have a report that we call Lazy Money to show her exactly what she's losing every year because inflation's at 1%. Her return on the savings account is 1%. Inflation on this use whole number is 8%. Yep. 7% a year she was losing. That's $7,000.
If you have to write that check to keep your money safe, you might think about it a little differently. So,
right. Exactly.
And we understand that things are costing more, but your money should try its best. You should have tools and strategies in place that can give you the best chance of keeping up with inflation. Simply relegating your money to a next to nothing 0%, 1% interest rate is not doing that. And that's not what we would suggest or advocate when we're talking about doing a portfolio and investment review. But making changes does not necessarily lock in losses. It may help you get into better position for recovery if it is to come, or even for further downtimes in the market and the economy. You've got to look at the strategies that you have and be proactive, though, because procrastination, paralysis, doing nothing will continue to give you the same results that you have gotten thus far. So let's make sure that you are in the best position, ladies and gentlemen. That is what the Protect and Grow plan, that complimentary review and retirement planning strategy session, is all about with Tim Stearns, CFP. If you would like to take advantage of that time and opportunity to learn about strategies that could show you improvement in your progress, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, I read a recent article from the Ramsey organization, Ramsey Solutions, and it was about holiday shopping and spending and preparation. And it included an outline of items to not blow the budget during the holiday season. And as I was reading it, it struck me through conversations with you that basically if we did a find and replace during that article, over the course of that article, and just replaced Christmas or holidays with retirement, it would be a very impactful, effective article on how to prepare ourselves not to blow the budget in retirement. And it would actually echo many of the things that you've talked about on this program, kind of defining what our spending is going to be, defining our sources of income, how much we're capable of spending, finding the gap and filling that gap. All of those things were sort of talked about in this article about holiday spending. And we probably should think about it during the holidays, but we should also think about it on a longer timeline of retirement.
Peter, I agree with you. If you're looking at, retirement, kind of like what you're looking at with the Christmas season coming up, not blowing your budget on stupid things, but knowing what your budget's going to be. So I feel like, retirement is much like that, right? You're going to take a look at what you're bringing into the house. You're going to look at what your costs are, and you're not going to blow the budget on stupid frills right now, especially if your portfolio is down, inflation's up. You need to be smart with your money. That comes down to planning a retirement. And we talk about planning a 30-plus year retirement for people. We had a couple in here last week. He is battling a prostate cancer that he has. It looks like it's going to be a good outcome, but they're only in their 60s. The chances of her mom is still alive at age 94. So the chances of her having a 30-year retirement are good. So what we need to do is, when you're doing a plan, is make sure you you look down the road and make sure that you're keeping track of inflation, what your bills are, and what you're bringing in. What is Social Security? Do you have a pension? What do you have in your 401k? There's all kinds of things that go into this. What is baked into a retirement? Most people don't even know the ingredients. They know that they need to have money, right? But they don't know how much money they need to have. And so what we talk about in our retirement classes, which we're having them in December, and we're having them in all next year, every month. If people give us a call, we'll be happy to tell them where they are. We only charge $39, which goes to Scholarships for America for people that are underprivileged that want to go to college. And basically, we talk about making sure that you have a plan. Not having one is having one. And we talk about working in the know, KNOW, knowledge that I can retire comfortably. And if God forbid I pass away, my wife would be as well.
Yeah. And I think that per this Ramsey article, basically it acknowledges that times are a little tight, that we're being hit by inflation, and that American families are tightening their belts.
Absolutely.
And that's absolutely valid. But I think that on a grander scheme, people have seen their retirement accounts lose 20, 25% of its value. And we're looking at retirement tightening our belts there as well. Nobody likes the word budget, Tim. I mean, I think it's like the 4-letter word of finance, if you will. But when you're talking about that protect and grow written retirement income plan, budget doesn't turn into you can't spend this, you can't spend that, you're limited. The budget portion of that, if done correctly, gives you freedom to spend what you want within a limit that is controllable and that is sustainable, giving us more confidence to spend both over the holiday season and over the duration of retirement.
Right. And that's working in the know, the KNOW, the knowledge of being able to say, yeah, we can go on that trip because I budgeted for it, and not living willy-nilly by the seat of your pants, which, I'll be at different parties and that type of thing over the holidays. And I'll hear that. Oh, I'm thinking about, given my 2 weeks and leaving the company that I've been with for 30 years. Oh, did you feel like you're comfortable? Yeah, I think I am. You shouldn't be thinking that you are. Make sure that you do an income allocation plan so that you are.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Isn't the most confident instilling method to enter into 30 plus years of unemployment that we fondly refer to as retirement, but where we are responsible for generating and maintaining our own income to support our standard of living. That's why you need that protect and grow written retirement income plan, ladies and gentlemen. And you have the benefit of a qualified, experienced professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, a certified financial planning professional that makes the offer to help design that protect and grow written retirement income plan right along with you. No cost, no obligation. Taking a look at your portfolio, your investment, your retirement accounts for the risks that you're taking, the fees that you're paying, the taxes that you may be liable for, the order of operations on how to access and create income withdrawals to pay your paycheck into and throughout retirement. If you would like to see that protect and grow plan for your specific situation, if you'd like to put that together with the help of a CFP certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, because of the economic financial challenges we have faced this year, the down market, the high inflation, the low interest rates, although maybe a little bit improving, but a lot of people have actually changed their retirement timelines, maybe moved it up during the course of the pandemic and maybe regretting that, hopefully not, but maybe regretting that now. But I think more this year, pushing it off for a couple more years. Are you seeing that?
It's funny that you bring that up. In class, I literally went over an article on Thursday night talking about how people are going, it was 62.6 was the average retirement age. And since a year ago, that was 62.6. Now it is 64 years old, which I find pretty interesting. In 1 year, it can go up that much. Believe it or not, that's a lot. So we're seeing that. We're also seeing that a lot of people are thinking, you know what, I retired during COVID. Things are kind of getting back to normal. My portfolio has taken a hit. or I'm in cash and I'm scared to get in the market. I need to go get a job. And, that's not fun for anyone. If you thought you were going to be retired, you want to stay that way, or maybe work doing something that you love. But at the end of the day, having a plan that kind of puts that all to the side, right? You know that you'll be able to pay your bills. You know that what your Social Security is going to cover, what your if you have a pension, if you're lucky enough, or what your savings can hold. One other thing in this article that we have, and we're happy to get it to people if they want to call in, there's a lot of interesting stats in there. The average retirement savings went down by about $10,000, under $100,000, and people in my class gasp and go, my gosh, I have more than that. Well, think about it. In Chicagoland, we're a little more educated, right? And we've always been savers. Not everyone in the world is like that, in the United States especially. So we're seeing that
balances across the board on average are significantly lower than what we see in this area, I think, or at least for listeners to a program like this, right?
I would agree with that. The smart listeners out there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
kind of two groups, the ones that don't take planning proactively seriously, and they've probably already tuned out. And then the ones that are still tuned in, who are taking their planning and their financial future seriously. Right, Tim?
Right. So I would urge people, if you're out there and you don't know what to do with your money because you went to cash, or your portfolio is taking a hit and you don't know what to do, give us a call and we'll work through it and figure out if there's a better path for you than what you're currently on, because the path you're on is kind of meandering, and you're at the whims of inflation being high, your 401k or IRAs, your portfolio is taking a hit. It's really a double-edged sword there that is killing you. And so we need to make sure, for peace of mind, to know how much risk we have, how have we performed versus the rank and file funds that are out there. These are the things that we'll analyze, and we're happy to help people with that.
Yep. My mom used to call it burning the candle at both ends. And in this case, your portfolio, your retirement nest egg is the candle. On one side, we've got the market losses. On the other side, we've got inflation. It makes for a difficult, challenging combination. But ladies and gentlemen, that's why you need to evaluate your strategies. You need to understand that things can be put in place, like the Protect and Grow written retirement income plan, like stop losses on your investments, the strategies that Tim Stearns, CFP, talks about each and every week here on the program. If you would like to take a look, if you'd like to learn more, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, next on your list was avoiding costly financial mistakes. And in particular, what caught my eye in emotional investing often leads to subpar results. And I want to circle back to the first topic that we talked about today, which was locking in losses or being afraid of making any kind of financial change with the perception that we would be locking in losses. Changing strategies does not lock in losses. You may find a better approach to moving forward, but I think people may be hesitant to do so because they feel like it's admitting defeat. And nobody wants to admit defeat, right? That's the emotional investing that you're talking about here that can be a costly mistake.
It's hard to admit you're wrong, right? If you pick the wrong horse in the race, right? But at the end of the day, why not get some help for that, and figure out, if I have an ailment, I go to a doctor, someone who knows what they're doing. I don't sit there and try to diagnose myself. So a lot of do-it-yourselfers during that 13-year bull market were very prideful and said, I got this. Well, nowadays they're looking in the mirror going, man, I don't have this because this market's a lot more finicky and challenging than I knew. So,
I'm going to use your example of racing, but the baton race where they pass the baton, right? There's nothing wrong with changing strategies, getting a newer, fresher runner in there, right? If the same one person tried to complete that entire race, they probably would lose by a mile because they would tire out. You change up and you get fresher legs there to run the next leg of the race. And that's what we may need to do with our portfolio from time to time. If we've had a great run up until now, but we're seeing that things are maybe not doing what they once were, or not not running as fast as we would like to see it. Maybe it's time to hand that baton off and try a new set of legs and a fresher strategy. So again, things that we need to consider in our financial well-being, our financial progress, and that's what that Protect and Grow plan, that written retirement income plan, is really all about, ladies and gentlemen. No cost, no obligation. If you would like to get that put together for you in your specific situation, pick up the phone, give TJ Stearns Inc., Tim Stearns, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, you also mentioned here that we, at the end of the year especially, we need to be proactive in considering the tax implications of how we are saving, of how we are investing. Savvy planners being more proactive about this topic, staying in front of taxes, and considering the strategic moves that can help us to minimize and control them.
Well, we talk about this in class quite a bit. What do we do on April 15th? We do the shoulda, coulda, wouldas of our tax season. We Monday morning quarterback our whole past year. I should have done this. I should have written this off. I should have put more money into here to get the tax breaks. We talk about that all the time here in saying that we need to be proactive when it comes to taxes. So a lot of our clients, have vehicles that they're taking money out each year. We make sure that at this point of the year, we say, hey, how much do you want to take out next year? And how much should we be taking out in taxes so you don't owe a big tax bill? These are the things we're helping people kind of circle the wagons, if you will, to make sure that they're doing it right so that come April 15th, the following year, they don't get hit. And remember, under the current tax laws that we have right now, they sunset in 2025. We need to make sure that we're taking advantage of these times, that maybe if I'm in retirement and I'm used to paying a certain tax bracket from my previous career, great time to maybe do Roth conversions. And I'm not hearing that a lot from the people that are coming in to see us from the radio show. They're saying, oh, my advisor didn't say anything about that. Your advisor is either lazy or doesn't understand it. Having a CPA here helps us to do that.
Isn't that maybe a pretty strong indicator that we could be missing other important conversations if the ultimate taxation on our money is not being discussed along the way? A pretty strong indicator that we could be only looking at the top of the iceberg that sunk the Titanic, with a whole lot more underneath the surface that we really need to be aware of?
Well, let me give you an example, Pete. Last week, I met with a retired fireman and his wife, and I showed them in the one IRA that they have with us, if they convert the $200,000 that they have, they'll save over $40,000 just on $200,000 of taxes. I ran a report for them and showed it. And they figured out, my gosh, we need to do this now because, time is fleeting, right, for this current tax laws.
Can you run those kind of numbers for anybody?
Of course. I'm happy to do it. And these people were 67 and 66 years old. Imagine if you're in your early 60s, it's even more powerful. And the more money that's in there, the more savings we can do.
Again, part of the Protect and Grow written retirement income plan, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the tax implications. How will you manage, control, and where possible, reduce and minimize the taxes on your retirement dollars? That's certainly part of the conversation that needs to be had far more often. If you have only been focusing on the lump sum growth and the rate of return and not how much of your money you will actually get to keep, again, a strong indication that maybe you are missing an important part of the conversation and piece of the total picture. It's not what we make, it's what we get to keep. It's not what we have in retirement, it's what we get to spend. It's how much we get to keep out of it. So if you'd like that Protect and Grow written retirement income plan, again, taking a proactive look at tax strategies, pick up the phone and give a call. Tim Stearns, CFP, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Finally, Tim, we do a lot of shopping during the holiday season, and sometimes we compare prices, cut coupons. Maybe worthwhile to shop financial products as well, since the increasing interest rate environment has made many opportunities much more attractive since the beginning of the year. I remember in the previous couple years hearing a lot about how the 4% rule or the 4% cash flow rate in retirement was in trouble. Well, now we're seeing fixed rates sometimes above 5%.
Right. So there's a lot of things that people need to unearth. We're used to a low interest rate environment. So, give us a call. We'll fill you in on the details on what vehicles are actually looking good now. Instead of having your money sitting in a account earning sub 1% when inflation's over 8%.
It is the holiday season, the hustle, the bustle, the busyness, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of things can unfortunately get pushed to the side or procrastinated on, but that is not preparation or progress. It is the enemy of those things. So let's be a little bit more proactive. Let's take a look at some of the items in our financial lives that can end this year on a better footing and begin next year on a better path and progress forward. That's what Tim Stearns, CFP, is here to help you do with the Protect and Grow Written Retirement Income Plan. They're available from TJ Stearns Inc. Pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, always a pleasure having you on the program, providing the perspective and the guidance and the information and education that you do. Thank you so much for being our resource and the resource for Chicagoland area savers and investors.
It's my pleasure, Peter. Thank you.
Tune into Chicagoland Certified Financial Planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.